Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Bradner with the Florida Aviation Network, and we are broadcasting live and in the clear from Sun and Fun 51, where we are definitely turning up the fun. We are broadcasting live at the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, where we have our studios, and I am here today. I am so excited to introduce our next guest. I am here with Isabella Head. May I call you Bella?
Yeah.
Bella,
nice
welcome. Now, I don't mean to be so formal because I know you because we've worked together for a year now at the Florida Aviation Network.
Yeah.
And I am so honored and so proud to have you here because Bella was one of our Tweet Coleman Scholarship interns this past year. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, I have to ask, let's start at the beginning. Bella, tell me a little bit about you. Where do you go to school and what are you studying?
Well, I go to school at Florida Institute of Technology, or FIT. It's also short for Florida Tech, and it's on the East Coast in Melbourne, Florida. So probably about 2 hours from here.
Okay.
And I'm studying aviation management with a minor in unmanned aerial systems, or drones.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that, have you been to their booth? I know that Florida FIT has a huge booth here.
Yeah.
They always have a huge representation here at Sun and Fun.
I actually haven't been there yet. I just got here today.
Yeah, that's because we're working you too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. You know, when you're an intern, we keep you working. Tell me a little bit, how did you find out about the Tweet Coleman Scholarship, and what inspired you to want to apply? What was the impetus behind that?
Well, I was actually looking for internships online and on social media, and I actually got an ad from Facebook. And there was a link on there, and I went and applied, and you had to do a whole application and a small essay, and it was, you know, I have a passion for aviation, and it was, you know, TV broadcasting and aviation, so I was like, you know what, that's a good skill to have, especially on the resume. So that's when I decided to apply, and OB called me and was like, hey, would you want to, you know, get this internship?
Yeah.
So
now I know that you've not only been, you know, you're not only here at Sun and Fun with us, which of course is a huge show, and we've got our studio set up here, but you've also been to our studios in Orlando, and then you went to, I believe you were on one of our remotes, Stallion 51.
Yeah.
How was that?
that was awesome.
Yeah.
We got to talk with KT Jones.
Yeah.
She's an awesome lady. We got to see all the aircraft, and they put me on the spot and put me on TV again. So it
would
was
never do a thing like that. So they actually put you on camera then,
yes,
to give you a shot of doing this, to do a promo?
Yes.
Awesome. Now, okay, so tell us a little bit about some of the jobs that you've done, because a lot of our viewers, when they see, right, all they're seeing is you and I up here talking, right?
Right.
Piece of cake, right? No nerves whatsoever. But what they don't see is all the stuff that as we look out, we can see in front of us. So tell us a little bit about some of the jobs that you've done and what it entailed.
Okay. Well, I've done the camera where we had to, if you have to pan left.
I'm going to stop you just a minute for our viewers. If you look, and we can actually see from our monitors, they're actually showing sort of a picture for those of you watching so that you can see what we see when we look toward the cameras. So there's a lot of people involved making this happen.
Right.
So, all right, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So I've been behind the camera. I've been the floor manager before, like 5.
Okay, so what does the floor manager do?
They, signal whether, we have 5 minutes, we're rolling, or you need to stretch it out more. And then I've done the audio where you had to put on the microphones on our host and our guest. And I've also done, I think, what Ryan was doing earlier.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
When you were actually communicating with the set and then our green room.
Yeah. So I've done that before.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much what I've done. Oh, I've done some makeup, and I've greeted hosts, and I've greeted guests.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you have a favorite? Is there something that stands out that you enjoy doing the most? And then you also had an opportunity to be on camera.
Right.
Doing the promo. Did you like that?
Honestly, it helps me to be more, open to getting out of my comfort zone. So I think being on camera is probably my favorite, even though I do get a lot of nervousness. But I think any person who is kind of shy or, is needing to be open into a world of aviation business, definitely this would be such a good opportunity for you to get an internship like this, because you will be getting out of your shell. You will be, open. It's opening a lot of opportunity for you.
Right. Have you, out of all of this, okay, obviously I think, and by the way, I'm going to give a shout out, Ben Coleman, we got your replacement. We talked about it earlier. I know anchor host, I think we found her. But other than here at the desk, what is it that you enjoyed most? And did you have a chance to sit actually at the desk with the tech?
No.
I know some of our interns have done that. Hopefully we can maybe give you a shot if you've not done that. But out of the rest of the things, what have you enjoyed most?
I have not been behind the desk. I would like to see, what's going on with them.
Okay.
But another thing I do is I control the Facebook as well, like the social media. I take pictures and I post it on the social media.
Nice. Yeah.
I also do that at my school job. They put me on social media.
Okay.
Because I'm a good writer and I do good captions and whatnot. So I really enjoy, taking pictures and just being behind the scenes as well. It's a really good opportun't
Yeah, well, and Bella, we're not going to let you go. Right, okay, so you know that, right? We're going to keep her because you have been a huge asset to us. And, this was why we wanted to have you on, Bella. And I know we put you on the spot again today to say, oh, by the way, we're going to interview you.
Yeah.
But it's so important that people hear, because not only is the Florida Aviation Network, obviously we promote aviation safety. Have you enjoyed, are there any guests that you've met that have stood out? That maybe you've talked to, or as you've greeted? I put you on the spot with that. You mentioned KT from Stallion 51, who obviously by far is one of my favorites as well. Is there anyone else that you've...
There was a guy from, I think, Piedmont Airlines, and then also the Florida Aviation Network, the Sun and Fun director was here.
Yes.
He was a cool guy. I'm not sure his name, but...
I bet that was Gene Conrad.
Yeah, Gene Conrad.
Oh, the one and the only. Absolutely.
He just had a great personality, and I would love to, learn more about how he runs Sun and Fun. That must be a really hard job to do.
It is, and I don't know, but I can, I think that there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And he would be a wonderful person, Bella. I know that Mr. Conrad has a very diverse background.
Yeah.
And he is certainly no stranger. He grew up around air shows and Oshkosh, so I think you probably heard his story.
Yeah.
And that's another thing we want to share with those of you that might be interested in applying for the Tweet Coleman scholarship. Once again, shout out to Dr. Coleman for her philanthropy as well as her generosity. Not only do you get the experience, but there's also monetary. This is a scholarship. So once you had to do, and I believe, Bella, correct me, 4 plane times?
Yes,
okay.
4 plane times, and you get about $400 and for the scholarship. And if you do remote shoots or if you participate in the Sun and Fun, you get the Sun and Fun for free, the ticket for the whole week, and the parking as well. But you get extra $100 for being at these remote shoots and the Sun and Fun.
Excellent.
So it's a total of about $1,000 with the T-shirt, the jacket, the computer case, all of it together.
The swag, the nice shirts.
Yes,
Look, we're showing
yes.
off our shirts. You get the nice shirts with your name on it, paid for by the letter, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, I've got to ask you, Bella, I'm just interested. I know when we come to the sets, we haven't had a lot of time to sit down and talk. And, you know, a lot of times I want to say thank you. Bella's been there to help as a grip to help me make sure I've got my microphone on and my earpiece in and all of that, and we're all set. What is your ultimate goal? Do you want to be an airport manager? Where are you going, and when is your graduation, and what are you looking at afterwards?
Well, I actually wanted to become a pilot, but unfortunately...
It's never too late. It's never too late.
We
heard that yesterday.
But it was very expensive,
Yes.
so right now I'm trying to just get my degree in aviation management. And then from there, I graduate this May. Super excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so I'm just looking for jobs in Florida for airport operations specialist or even airport consulting.
I wonder if Sun and Fun is hiring. It's a really cool place to work.
I know. Or
Shout out, Mr. Conrad. We're recruiting for you. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And so anywhere in Florida?
I'm kind of looking more of the East Coast area, but you know, anywhere in Florida is good with me. I really love Florida. I love the beaches. I love just the environment, the people. They're down to earth, and it's just the biggest state for aviation, in my opinion.
Well, and you know what? We have Dr. Bartuski here, you know, our resident meteorologist.
Yes.
You know, and minus the summer and the thunderstorms, the nice thing is that we really, unlike up north, as we're seeing on the weather, we can fly year-round here, which is awesome. And I have to ask you, I've never asked you this, were you born and raised in Florida, or are you from up north?
No, I'm actually from Louisiana.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, anywhere near New Orleans?
No,
Oh, okay,
no.
okay.
I'm in a little small, we call them parishes. Y'all
Okay.
call them counties.
Okay.
But a little parish, and they call it the parish. Avoyles Parish, AVP, shout out.
There we go. Absolutely. And what brought you to Florida? Was it the Florida Institute? Was it college that brought you to Florida?
Yes, my mom really wanted me to be in Florida because she wants to move there. So she kind of like pushed me to come here, and
Kudos to mom.
yeah,
Mom's thinking. I like it.
yeah.
I
So
like
I'm so glad that she pushed me to come here because there's not too many opportunities where I live and for aviation. There's a few colleges for that, but I think Florida is just, there's so many schools. There's so much to do, you know, there's just not a lot of growth where I'm from.
You know, Florida Institute of Technology is a phenomenal school.
Yeah.
Phenomenal for science, technology, engineering, math, aviation. I mean, that truly is. They're considered the MIT of the South.
Yeah.
You know that. I know that. So how did you choose Florida Institute of Technology?
Well, I was looking at Aviator College, but it wasn't giving the college vibe that I really wanted.
Okay.
And then I looked at Embry-Riddle, and then Florida Tech gave me the best scholarship.
Excellent.
And I really liked how they're very family oriented and just, they're like such a big family. That's what I really like. Like yesterday, actually, I went to, it was this week, has been the College of Aeronautics Week.
Yes.
And I went to this hangar party that was invite only for specific students.
Here on the Sun, at Sun and Fun?
No.
Okay.
At Florida Tech.
I got you. Okay.
And,
I was like, wait, I missed a party? Hold on.
Yeah, it was, specifically for only students that was invited, and it was alumni, and you got to network, and they just seemed like there's just a big family, and they want to help you. And I think if anybody is wondering what school to go to for flying to be a pilot, or if you want to design airports like I'm doing, or if you want to manage an airport, which I can do as well, come to Florida Tech. You know, it's just, you want to be a Panther, come
That is an awesome shout out, and I do want to go ahead and reiterate because it's soon to be your alma mater when you come in May. But for those of you that are interested in any of our high school students, certainly I know that Florida Tech FIT has a wonderful booth. They are right down there by the 927 Club, which is very close. They've been there for several years. I think they've got squatters' rights on that place right there. And but please go and check out their booth. And I know they've got advisors there, and they also have students there. And of course, for those of you that might be interested, the Florida Aviation Network, we would love to have you be part of the Panthers, because that means you can apply for the Tweet Coleman Scholarship with the Florida Aviation Network and become part of our family here at FAN. And so please, you can check us both out. We're at the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, the building across from the Aerospace Center of Excellence, and the Florida Institute of Technology, FIT, which is the MIT of the South.
Yes.
They are located right there, almost at Show Center. Let me ask you, I know we don't have a lot of time yet left. Bella, if you had to give a piece of advice to high school students, now that you're going to be a graduating college student, you went out of state. That's a huge, I commend your courage on that. That was amazing. What piece of advice would you give to the students, the high school students? Because obviously Florida Aviation Network Sun and Fun is all about education. So for high school students, what would your advice be?
Well, I have a few pieces of advice that I wish I would have done as a high schooler going into the aviation world. If you want to be a pilot, do whatever you can to be it. Whether it's get a job, get your private pilot before you go to college. That would have been a really smart idea for me, because it's really hard to do private pilot and college at the same time. But if you really want to do it, just do whatever you can. And the next piece of advice, don't be afraid to talk, especially women, ladies, girls. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid to talk. It doesn't matter what other people think. Just do it. Do what you love, and you'll get to wherever you want in life.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to drop the mic. And yes, this is our next host, absolutely. For those that would, one other piece of advice or just a shout out, what would you say, having been through this internship for a year, just kind of your impressions to inspire maybe someone else to apply? What would you say to that, Bella?
I think if you really, want to be in aviation and you want to do maybe some TV broadcasting, I suggest, do Florida Aviation Network. But another thing is, I think the culture here, the vibe, everyone's like a big family. And I'm just a very family-oriented person. And I love my family and stuff. So if you're looking for a family, this is it. Florida Aviation Network becomes your family. You're going to make you cry.
Yes. Bella, I tell you what, once again, it is a pleasure. And I want to say thank you for your ability to pivot, for your ability to allow us to pull you off the floor and say, oh, by the way, we're going to mic you up, which we did. By far, this has been one of my favorite interviews of all day. And you know what? I tell you what. Once again, for all of you watching, high school students, college students, we would encourage you to apply for the Tweet Coleman Scholarship and the internship with the Florida Aviation Network. It does open August 15th and closes September 15th. And you know what, Bella, I'm going to put you on the spot. I took a little card from Ben's deck here. Bella, I think I'm going to have you sign us off. So I believe you're going to be in camera 3. So you're going to tell them your name. You're going to tell them thank you. And don't forget to give a shout out to Sun and Fun.
Okay. Camera 3.
Camera
okay.
3.
This is Isabella Head with the Florida Aviation Network signing off. Come to Sun and Fun.